I love that. I love it. It's the Battlestar Galactica music. If you ever watched Battlestar Galactica, the reboot, not the weird one, not the Lorne Green one. No, the cool one. It was made in like the 2000s. Hey, everybody, welcome in to if I'm looking this way, it's because I'm watching the polls in California have just closed, and we're watching them closely. So keep it here. Welcome, Pillow Talk edition of Pugs Moran Live. We do this each and every night, Sunday through Thursday from 10 to midnight, and then we do it again every day. We do what we call High Noon with me, Pugs Moran. That's more of a chat kind of thing, more of a topic-driven show. We have some fun here, and boy, oh boy, do we have some fun planned for you today. What a sad day with Norm Macdonald passing and all that, but we're gonna have fun. We're gonna. I don't know. I'm probably gonna get in a lot. I don't see. What up, E? E's with us. Hey, like if we had like applause or something, hey, like I'd do that right there. I go, hey, look, E's here, and then I'd hit a button and we go, hey.
All right.
We don't have that. We don't have anything like that. I don't want it. I don't need the bells and whistles. Those are literally, boy, people say that a lot. It was, I don't need all the bells and whistles. But that was used properly. Those are literally bells and whistles. I'm saying I don't need all the bells and whistles and applause. Hi, E, how are you?
Hanging in there.
Why so down, Charlie Brown?
I don't know that I'm down. It's just, it's kind of a bummer day.
Big Larry Elder supporter.
Right.
Is that what I'm sensing? Yeah, I know. Big Ed, the boss man. You boys better watch your step in the chat room today. The boss man is lurking. And you do actually have bells and whistles. I don't have bells and whistles. I have this. Oh. I have that, and I have this. Oh. I've never really gone through these. I like that one. Hold on, let me hear that one again. All right, and I got this. Oh.
What was that?
Ed, USOB. Ed gave me applause. Those are applause. Emil's trying again. Emil's here with us. I like that.
The whole audience stopped clapping in a nanosecond.
That's the best. Ed, you silly. I had no idea that was there. To Ed, right there. And then, of course, we got this one. But,
I think you need to let the claps percolate a little bit.
No, no. Ed gets it. That's humor. Here's what I would say. I would give it maybe twice that. Just because it's so quick, you don't even recognize it as claps.
It sounds like static.
Yeah, exactly. But it's, hey, everybody, Ed put some stuff on the pad that I didn't know about. It's like that. It's like that. Oh, man, I'm feeling silly tonight. I got to turn down my thing. Who's texting me? Oh, there's Ed. Who's texting? Of course it's Ed. You can actually hold down applause as much as you want. It will stop immediately when you release it. Emil's here. Oh! Whoa. Dude, Ed is the best. He's working his magic from 1,000 miles away. He left us here at the 1%er compound just for a couple of weeks. He's got a whole other life. He's got a whole other family in Chicago that he needs to deal with.
Go back and work for people that pay him. Work with people that pay him.
Yeah, exactly. People that were actually makes money instead of losing money. Stephen Ray says that it's funny. I like the short claps, so he likes this. But I think that's too short. I think maybe this is good. Emil's here, everybody. Let's welcome in Emil. At least you know that, right? That sounds more like it.
Yeah, I know that's all bullshit.
All right.
No one's going to clap like that when I'm here.
All right. Let's see what's happening. Should Governor Newsom be recalled? 60.6% are saying no. 39.4% are saying yes. So it's about 21 points. But it's early.
What the polls said.
Yeah, the polls were saying 20 points. But it's way early, dude. Literally 5 minutes ago they closed. And I don't really care about this. Here's what I think of that. See, not really. You know what I just noticed? Look at me. I broke out an old sweatshirt that I had. You know why?
Because it says White Sox.
Well, no, it says White Sox because they're my team. But why did I break it out? That was the question. I broke it out. I broke it out. I didn't know I had it. I didn't think it made the trip. And it's very cold in here. And so the air conditioning literally blows right on me. I mean, look, there ain't nothing to the refrigerator. I could complain about the refrigerator, but I ain't complaining about nothing. This place is awesome. And in Texas in the summer, the air conditioning is like the most important thing. Like I worried before I came down here to even ask you about, whether it had air conditioning. I mean, I assumed that
I
it did.
remember that actually because I didn't even check it out. I was like, well, who the hell wouldn't have air conditioning? But then I thought, well, it is a guest house, but
Right.
still, it wouldn't really be a guest house if it didn't have air conditioning. It would be kind of a torture chamber.
Slave
So,
quarters.
yeah.
Maybe they're slave quarters. Maybe this is like a house that was built for the servants. They had a live-in nanny or something like that. Whatever. It's awesome, and the air conditioning is like the best air conditioning I have ever. I try and keep this because working class and all. I keep it set at like 78 degrees. And it doesn't matter. It goes to 70. It goes all the way down to 70 when it's set at 78 degrees because the unit is so big in this small space that if you keep a door closed, it gets freezing in here. So that's why I always wear it's in Texas and it's 100 degrees today. And it's very cold when I'm doing this show.
I don't know how you can stand it set at 78. Like I have it at 70 on this side of the house. And when you come in, you're always complaining I can hang meat in here.
Yeah, your house is insane. The big house is insane. You walk in there, it's like a meat cooler. You don't understand how I can keep it at 78? I was raised by a single mom. That's how. That's why I keep it at 78, because they actually charge working class people for electricity. Not like you one percenters who get it for free.
I don't get it for free, and I'm not a one percenter.
I have my beliefs and I'm married to them. I read that online somewhere. I read that on a Reddit thread. That rich people get all their air conditioning for free. Okay, I'm gonna have a drink. How are you, folks? I see Steve. We got Stevie Ray. We are just bumper to bumper Steves today. We got Brady's, but Brady's always here. As you're, I'm not seeing a lot of Facebook stuff. Again, I like the YouTubes being well. I like anybody listening any way that they can. But Leslie's here. Hi, Leslie. Leslie's here on Facebook.
So, I see how you can tell the difference. God, it's taken me like this long to figure it out. Huh?
Yeah. YouTube's just the red box or the orange box with the. All right, so back to the outfit. I just looked at myself and I'm like, wow, I am just head to toe. Well, I get a whole bunch of free gear. That's why you see me all the time. But I don't get hats. I only got 2 hats, and I gave one to my kid, and then I get this one. And this is a good hat though. This is the spring training. That's called the Batterman logo. That's a pretty rare of the White Sox hat, so it's my favorite. So I wear it a lot. But I noticed when I put this on, I got the White Sox, and then I got the Batterman logo, and then I'm like, you think that's all? You think that's all? I got layers. Look at that. Layers.
From the guy that says he wouldn't wear a jersey.
Yeah.
You've actually got 1, 2, 3 pieces of
gear.
Not a jersey. But you're not going to wear a jersey with a name on it.
No, I feel silly. But you can represent your team. You can say that, hey, I am a fan of this team without wearing a jersey and trying to be like, I play on the team. Look, it's my name on the back. I don't play on the team. I'm a grown man. What am I wearing a jersey for?
I'm not trying to be ugly here, but if I saw you in a jersey, I wouldn't mistake you for a player.
Well, no, you wouldn't. But it's the idea that I somehow think I'm pulling that off. Like, I think when people go out wearing their jerseys, they're like, I'm young again. Look at me. I could suit up. Hey, coach, I'm in the stands. I don't see that. I think that's silly.
Well, what if you wear a Staubach jersey? You're not young again. You're old.
Why not wear a Staubach? Okay, you know what? That is interesting because I do think that there is a fashion way to pull it off. If you're wearing like something retro, something that's like, would be like, oh, that's cool. Like, for instance, I do occasionally wear a Bears jersey. Now, it's only during Bears games, and it's only if I'm out at a bear watching party that I'll wear it. But even when I wear it, that's a Gale Sayers jersey. That's a 40 Gale Sayers authentic 1972 Bears jersey. And people go, cool jersey, man. I'm like, yeah, I know. See, but that's not like me wearing a freaking Fields #1, fat guy in a number. Yeah, I'm Justin Fields. I'm just like him.
See, I don't see you as Justin Fields. I just think that the single digit is like a showy number to begin with. And I have more an issue with the number than I do with the actual jersey.
Is that dog here or there?
I know the audio's so good, I can't tell either when she shakes her collar on your side or my side. No, here she comes.
She's there. Okay, good. Because I'm like,
Yeah.
ugh, I don't like her in here. And inevitably, just like last night, at some point, she's going to come up and she's going to climb into her chair and she just stands perch out there. Do you know I had to move the chair? Folks, I have this blue chair out on my deck and the dog moves around. The compound is the dog's. The dog can go wherever she wants. She's got a dog door. She can go in and out. But she likes this big recliner chair that I have out on my deck. And she used to stand up in it and recline the chair backwards so that the headrest of the chair would rest all the way up on the railing of the deck. And then she would perch herself up there like she was going to jump. It's scary. It really was scary. So I moved the chair. And last night, I think I called you last night because she was asleep out there. Last night, she tipped the chair over. She pushed it all the way back because normally I think she stands up on it and she thinks that it's going to be stopped by the railing, but it didn't stop because I moved it to the middle. And the chair was like leaned over on the side. I was like, oh, that happened last night. I didn't hear that, but
I think she's gotten back to her, like, well, because her being a rescue, I think she has spent many a night outside. And so I think now that the weather is nice, she actually enjoys.
It's not too hot.
Yeah, it's not too hot. She actually enjoys sleeping outside because she didn't come in the doggy door last night. She didn't come in my room and sleep in her bed. Right now, she's here. She just wants to be pet. And I'm sure she's going to start pawing me here in a minute and try to get me to take her outside.
She was, as of 2:00 in the morning, she was on the blue chair asleep. And I think I called you at like 12:30 and said, hey, the dog's on the chair asleep out there.
She's spending the night out.
Yeah, she's camping. She's out there camping. She wants to make sure that no squirrels decide to walk along the fence or anything like that.
She likes to watch that back alley.
Yeah.
And, and see what animals go through the grass in the back alley. I've heard we have some coyotes.
Maybe.
That kind of sneak through. So I don't know if that's why because like sometimes she'll get up and she'll just run out there and start barking.
Oh, yeah. She goes nuts in the middle of the night. Yeah, she does. Yeah,
so I don't know
what I think she did when she knocked the chair over last night. She probably saw something back there.
Hears them or what's going on back there, but she can pick it off. I don't know.
I'll tell you, man, she's got good size. She's got a great build, and she's got a scary ass bark. I mean, she really does have a good bark.
Considering the first week we had her, she didn't bark a bit because she wasn't used to her surroundings. When I finally heard her bark, my gosh. Yep, there she is. She's went up in her other chair over here. Okay.
That's the name of our little spin-off media company, Ketahula Media. And it's just her ugly ass face as the logo with the brown eye and the blue eye and the weird spots all over her. She's just but we love her. She's a good kid. She's a good kid. All right. What are we going to get into tonight? Tonight on Pillow Talk, we're going to I don't know what I can play. There's stuff from Norm Macdonald that I want to play that has been shared on Twitter. And it's been shared like thousands and thousands of times. None of it seems to be licensed stuff. Like directly from, although the stuff that is like Seth Meyers tonight put out a really nice video and it was branded with Late Night with Seth Meyers. I think we can use that. I think that that's a promo for tonight's show. I think that it's, I don't know what we can and can't use. I'm just, Ed seems to handle it all really well. Hey, Sean, I don't, like, he never makes me feel like I'm going to jail or I'm costing him money. So I don't know. When he tells me to stop, I'll stop. But I've been clearing stuff with him and he's been, that's okay. That's okay. I don't know.
So I was thinking about my Norm Macdonald moment. Where I actually saw him was at the Majestic.
Oh, yeah? The theater down here in Dallas.
And that was on New Year's. He was here on New Year's with some comedians. And then after
New Year's when?
I want to say several, maybe 8, 9 years ago.
Because
A
he's had
long
cancer
time
for
ago.
10 years, yeah.
Yeah, and then from there, he went to an after party somewhere on McKinney, and we ended up there. And yeah, that was it. I was bummed when I heard that happened today.
How was the show?
Oh, it was awesome. He was
I've never seen him live.
Yeah, he was funny.
I've seen him in person. Like, I've had occasion to be around him on a couple of occasions, but I've never seen him live.
We have pictures from the after party. He was quite the character.
Who were the other comedians that he was with?
I knew you were going to ask me that.
All right, don't worry about it.
I don't remember.
It's not important. All right, so we're going to talk a little bit about Norm Macdonald. We're going to read some of the oh boy. This was a bit. I mean, look, here's what I knew. I knew that among comedy professionals, Norm Macdonald was considered a god. I knew that he didn't have the major top of mind success where he wasn't like worth $1 billion off of his comedy. I mean, he was a wealthy guy. He was very successful, but he was he was so pure. We're talking about Norm Macdonald, who passed away today. He was so pure about his comedy that he never gave in to pressure from corporate or, Norm, if you didn't write jokes with, dick and balls in it, you'd probably still have a sitcom. And he didn't care about that. He had a sitcom. He even said, there was a quote that I read today that the day he got his sitcom, he goes, "I give it 3 weeks." Like he knew the minute he signed the deal that
it wasn't going to last.
But I think it lasted 2 years, the Norm Show, and it was a good sitcom. But I believe it was ABC, and it was the kind of sitcom that if it had been 10 years later and done on FX, it would have been just a major smash. But it was on ABC, and it was probably watered down to a degree, but it was still good. And then just every single blue check in the comedy world has just put out tonight a tweet that is beautiful, just really beautiful. And it's like, wow. Again, you don't think that Norm Macdonald, and this isn't just because he died. I mean, this has been something that I've known for a long time. I know a lot of comedians, and every comedian I know love him. Just absolutely bow down to him. Everyone in the New York scene bows down to him. Even the LA comics that I know, that they think that he's the greatest. He was, and I was reminded they were showing a whole bunch of his stuff. And although he's primarily remembered as one of, if not the greatest Weekend Update anchor of all time, but he did do a few characters on Saturday Night Live. And I have to tell you, I was reminded today that his Burt Reynolds used to slay me when he would play Burt Reynolds on Celebrity Jeopardy and he would refuse to answer to Burt Reynolds. You know, in Jeopardy where they write their name and you see it on the podium, right? Signature. He wouldn't write Burt Reynolds. He went by Turd Ferguson and demanded that Alex Trebek call him Turd Ferguson. It's great. And of course, Daryl Hammond's Sean Connery was another breakout from those old Jeopardy ones. But his Burt Reynolds was so dead on, and it wasn't dead on in that he nailed the voice. I mean, he would wear a Trans Am jacket, a cowboy hat, and the big mustache. He was dressed like Smokey and the Bandit era Burt Reynolds, and he didn't even try the voice. He didn't try to sound like Burt Reynolds. But what he had down was the attitude and the mannerisms. I mean, just the Burt Reynolds. He didn't care about anything. Everything was kind of a joke. Nothing was serious to him. Chewing the gum. What next question? He was very funny. He was a really funny guy. So we'll go through some of that. Also, like I said, I've been saying for the last couple of nights, we've stockpiled the American Vidiot series, and I've broken them down tonight into a women's and a men's divisions. So we're gonna watch 3 bad women American Vidiots, and then we're gonna watch 3 men American Vidiots, and we'll just decide on who's the worst, who's the women's champion, who's the male champion, and in between, Boy, oh boy, I've been getting your cards and letters.
Cards and letters. Who even
Yeah.
sends cards anymore?
Correspondence, man. Just go with me. I'm being folksy. Why
Oh,
you got
okay. Well, you could say I've been getting your social media posts,
that wouldn't be
your
folksy.
tweets.
That wouldn't be folksy. I'm being folksy. Cards and letters across my desk. Man, I'm telling you, this allergy medication is making me so cotton mouthy.
So, what's in the silver cup?
This is Coke Zero.
Coke Zero, and then you got a crystal cup with some beverage
Jameson.
of Jameson.
Jameson.
You still got Jameson left?
I do. Yeah.
Wow. All right.
All right. But what we're going to get by popular demand, we're finally going to get to the dating resumes. About a week ago or so at this point, when Derek Jeter went into the Hall of Fame, we went over Derek Jeter's Hall of Fame dating resume, which was very impressive. Just off the top of my head. Jessica Alba, Jessica Biel, Mariah Carey, Tyra Banks, Minka Kelly. I mean, he just it goes on and on. It was a right? Would you say just a fantastic one?
Ridiculous. That's the only thing I'm gonna say.
There are better. I know you think that's probably hard. And look, really, it comes down to what your personal tastes are, because 10s are 10s, right? I mean, what we're going to get into a fist fight over who's hotter, Bo Derek or Farrah Fawcett. You know what I mean? That's just a personal sort of thing. And I name those two names because there are a couple of, we're going to go deep. We're going to go deep into Hollywood. We're going to see. By the way, he didn't make the final cut. I've been working on this tirelessly for weeks. He didn't make the final cut, but do you know who needs to be an honorable mention in one of the greatest cocksmen of all time?
Who?
Dudley Moore.
Well,
Dudley freaking Moore. Now, we think of him with Susan Anton because when he was at his peak, he was always hanging out with Susan Anton. But oh my goodness, going back to the early 60s, Dudley Moore was slaying, man. He was doing well.
You play the Arthur character.
And we're talking 20 years before that.
Right, but I'm saying you play the Arthur character and you have some kind of previous game. I think that's why you're so good at it.
Yeah. Well, people, you know what he was? He was little. He was non-threatening. Look, you know this, right? Cute little guys get girls. You think, oh, look at that poor guy. He's only 5'4". No, that 5'4" guy, he's non-threatening, charming, probably has other things going for. They get really hot girls. Really hot girls end up dating little guys, tiny guys, short guys. It's the only people who do not get hot girls are fat guys, unless they're like super famous. And then even then, the hot girl they're with isn't going to be famous. The hot girl they're with is just going to be some hot girl, some civilian. It's true. It's true. We never saw Chris Farley with Heather Locklear. No, but we saw him with hot girls, but they were, well, actually probably escorts. Now that we know what Chris Farley's private life was about, maybe that was it. I don't know.
Oh.
Leslie says those little English dudes get it going. They really do, because Davy Jones is another one. Remember Davy Jones from the Monkees?
Hey, yeah, the non-band band.
He was mentioned on some of the lists as well as being a guy. He was another little British guy. So we're going to get into that. So we got a bunch of stuff to get to. Also, James, we usually like to start off with, he usually throws a topic at us, but he's not, James is, let's just call him. Let's see if he's around. If he answers, he answers. If he doesn't, the hell, he owes me.
He could be in the middle of it with the wife again.
I picked him out of obscurity, and now he's a Westwood One personality. He ain't gonna answer. He's looking at his phone right now going, I can't do this. I got nothing. Yeah, it's going to voicemail.
Hey, this is James Parker. Sorry, Mr. Cole. I would tell you to leave your name and your number, but you know what to do. I mean, my phone's telling me what your number is, so you don't really need to leave that. But so just do whatever you got to do.
At the tone, please record your message. When you have finished recording, you may hang up or press 1 for more options.
All right. You were Facebooking me earlier and I didn't respond, and now I'm calling you and you're not responding. So you know what it's about. All right, just call me. We got a bunch of stuff we're going to do tonight, James. We're going to talk about Norm Macdonald here. Then we're going to go into celebrity dating resumes. You should see the people Frank Sinatra dated. Also, we're going to talk about American Vidiots. So that's what you're missing out on. Hope you're having sex with the wife. There he goes. Okay.
How about him flexing his phone that he's got caller ID?
Doesn't everybody have caller ID?
Exactly.
Oh, wow. Oh, I didn't know this was a thing.
What's the thing?
I am. I don't need that, Ed. Thanks. I don't know what the I don't know. I am watching right now. I accidentally opened up Twitter and I am watching the feed of us on Twitter, but it's on a delay. So that's kind of interesting. I didn't think that was a thing. All right.
Let's get these vidiots.
We'll get to that. Hold on.
I mean, I've been thinking still about the dude that jumped on the barbed wire trampoline.
Yeah. How about that guy? The hillbilly meth-looking guy who climbed up on the ladder and then they restrung a trampoline to be just filled with tightly pulled barbed wire, and he did that. That guy was an American Video. There you go. Here's to you, kind sir. Okay, yeah, you're right. Let's get started. See, the problem is I'm really thirsty.
You're two-fisted. You got Coke Zero in one hand, Jameson in the other.
I'm gonna have to get up.
Have you ever thought of combining the two?
No. I'd rather. I'm only drinking the soda because of the stupid medication that makes me so cotton mouthy. All right, let's talk about Norm Macdonald here. I wanted to pull up some of these. Here, we'll go to these. I'll just read you a list of some of the things that some of the people have had to say about him. Norm Macdonald, of course, a prolific writer, comic, sitcom star, movie actor, host, Saturday Night Live, Weekend Update host, all of that good stuff. Let's see here. Oh, hey, by the way, have you been on Facebook today?
A little bit.
Did you wish Anthony Dorsett Jr. a happy birthday?
I did.
Oh, there you go. Okay, because I just saw that. I go on Facebook very rarely.
I actually didn't do it on Facebook. I called him.
Oh, okay. Well, that's what a good friend does. All right, let's see here. Let's look at some of these. I won't show any of the videos first. I said earlier that Norm Macdonald had spent the last couple of years of his life. It sounds, look, he knew he was sick. Did you know that he became a professional gambler, a professional poker player? That became his passion.
Did not know that. No.
I'm sure his family, who knew that he was ill, really appreciated him spending the last 10 years of his life gambling all the money.
Well, they may have. Who says he lost?
That would be very who says they lost? Common sense says that he lost sometimes.
Well, not in poker. In poker, you're playing against other people.
Still,
not everybody's going to be a loser in the game.
I'm sure he left his family fine. Hey, I've got a question for you. Have you seen these new sexy commercials for Skims on TV yet? Where it's the girl laying in her underwear and she's talking about Skims. Skims are like skin tight underwear.
No.
And she's like, if I'm being truthful, I never wore underwear. I think it's Kim Kardashian, but I can't tell because Kim Kardashian is getting to that age where she's probably really self-conscious about getting older. So she's doing different things with her face and her makeup, and maybe she's had a little plastic surgery. I don't know. I think it is Kim Kardashian, though. Anybody in the chat room know those Skims commercials? Because it just came on and I was distracted by it.
So is that skin with a Kim?
Yeah, Skims. Like they skim the surface. And I think maybe that would make sense. You would get Kim Kardashian if your brand was Skims, right? Although people would think she owns it. Wouldn't you think that that's her brand? Right?
Like her brother owned the sock company?
Mm-hmm. All right, so the first biggie that I saw here in the Norm Macdonald Love Fest, Mark Hamill, Luke Skywalker himself, one of the funniest people SNL ever produced, is gone, but will never be forgotten. I've spent many an hour on YouTube over the years enjoying all the characters he gave us. In a word, hilarious. Thanks for a lifetime of laughs. Luke Skywalker ain't going to say shit about me when I die. That's a pretty good one. Adam Sandler. Now, Adam Sandler, remember Billy Madison? Norm played his best friend in Billy Madison. They were on Saturday Night Live together. He's, one of that running crew. Adam Sandler, every one of us loved Norm. Some of the hardest laughs of my life was with this man. Most fearless, funny, original guy I knew. An incredible dad, a great friend, a legend. Love you, pal. Here's another big one, David Letterman. Now, here's why David Letterman is interesting, because Norm Macdonald was David Letterman's favorite comedian. Norm Macdonald and David Letterman had like a father-son kind of a thing where like Norm Macdonald really looked up to David Letterman, and David Letterman, who didn't really reciprocate much. With David Letterman is a very closed off dude. Like he's not warm and all that, but the very last comedian on David Letterman's show before he retired was Norm Macdonald. And that was by design. That was because Dave wanted him. And Norm came out. I mean, see, I don't know if I can even play that, but Norm came out at the he did his comedy bit. And then at the very end, he just stopped and he turned to David and he said, I just want you to know that I love you. And he started to cry when he said it. I mean, it was real. It was raw. And you have to think, okay, so I bet over the last 20 years of all the turbulence, all the trouble with NBC, I mean, who knows about trouble with NBC like David Letterman, all of that stuff, I bet you there were moments where he was there for him, where he was the rabbi that he turned to and said, what's going on here? What should I do? Very much in the same way that David Letterman had Johnny Carson in that way. David Letterman used Johnny Carson for a lot of that stuff earlier in his. So that was really nice to learn today about that relationship. David Letterman says, in every important way in the world of stand-up, Norm was the best. An opinion shared by me and all of our peers. Always up to something, never certain until his matter-of-fact delivery leveled you. He really was original. Norm Macdonald was, I mean, where most comics are like, hey, did you hear about it? What's the deal with, or whatever that was. Norm Macdonald had this, and maybe it was because he was Canadian and he had a little bit of a Canadian accent, and it was just a little bit easier, his delivery, but it was so deadpan. It was so, let's see here. And then Jerry Seinfeld shared a clip. I love you, Norm. And it's a clip from Comedians in Cars Getting Coffee. Don't know if I can play that. Probably can't. Let me see here. That Saturday Night Live. Oh no, Better Than Ezra, the band. the band, Better Than Ezra says, we are saddened by the news of Norm Macdonald. He was hilarious and an absolute legend. Thankful to have been the inspiration behind one of the best Weekend Update jokes of all time, according to the internet. Rest in peace, Norm. Now that's because that joke.
Aren't they from New Orleans or Louisiana?
Yeah, they are. Here, maybe I'll just try and play the joke like this. What if I just do this? Maybe we won't get in trouble this way. I don't know. Let's listen to it. So here's the joke that Better Than Ezra was happy to be a part of. All right, here we go. Let's try this.
So and in music news, number 1 on the college charts this summer was Better Than Ezra. And at number 2, Ezra.
See, that's a good joke.
That's a good joke.
That is a good joke. Okay, let's see. Maybe we'll just do it that way, because all you need to do is hear his voice and delivery, right? You don't need to hear any of the other stuff. Oh man, where did I go? I think I just lost this. All right, so let's do it that way. We'll All right, so here is what Jerry Seinfeld retweeted. Here we go. Okay, let's listen to this one.
Now, do you think Cosby's legacy will be hurt?
Yeah.
You do, huh? I mean, there was a comedian, Patton Oswalt, he told me, I think the worst part of the Cosby thing was the hypocrisy. And I disagreed.
You disagree with that?
Yeah. I thought it was the raping. That's my feeling. Most rapists are hypocrites. You don't meet many go, I like raping, and I know it's not politically correct, but by God, people go, well, he's not being a hypocrite, and that's the worst part.
Now, what you couldn't see there was Jerry Seinfeld was driving this, looks like a 1972 blue Carmen Ghia. And Jerry Seinfeld was absolutely leveled by that line. He couldn't even breathe. He just it was, he wrecked Jerry Seinfeld with that line.
And probably afraid to comment.
I don't know. Have you ever watched comedians in cars getting coffee? Jerry Seinfeld is very edgy. He's free. He's got the FU money. He doesn't care.
Yeah, that's still one of those, Cosby. A lot of people didn't come out as hard as they wanted to, I think, until he went to prison.
Yeah. All right, here. This is from David Letterman's final night, the final stand-up comedian he had on. It was Norm Macdonald, and this is a bit that Norm Macdonald did. This is pretty funny. Just listen.
There is one country that worries me, though. Not Iraq, not Iran, not North Korea. The only country that really worries me is the country of Germany. I don't know if you guys are history buffs or not. In the early part of the previous century, Germany decided to go to war. And who did they go to war with? The world. That had never been tried before. And so you figure that would take about 5 seconds for the world to win, but no, it was actually close. Then about 30 years pass, and Germany decides again to go to war, and again it chooses as its enemy the world. And this time they have that guy, Schrankly, that guy. And I'm not even going to dignify him by saying his name, but I think you know what I'm talking. But you'd think at that point the world will go, listen, Germany, here's the deal. You don't get to be a country no more on account of you keep attacking the world. What do you think? Mars or something?
All right. That was from his final appearance on David Letterman. He's a funny guy, man.
Yeah. I mean, that angle alone, thinking about that, and then, yeah, that's sad.
It's like, why is Germany more frightening than anyone else? Because when they decide to go to war, they fight everybody. They're going after
twice.
Yeah. Here's another interesting one. This was tweeted by Vincent D'Onofrio, who is one of my favorite actors. And certainly I do not think of Vincent D'Onofrio as being funny. I mean, he's a dramatic actor, but it turns out that they were friends. And it says Vincent D'Onofrio tweeted, "It seemed Norm Macdonald wasn't afraid of any joke he wrote. He'd take big risks. Every few jokes, bam, he'd throw one out and I'd be on the floor. Over the years, whenever I wanted an instant laugh or just for a smile, I'd talk to him or Google one of his performances. Rest in peace, Norm." That's nice. Here's something that one of the casinos, Harrah's, tweeted out because he was a big gambler. It's Norm. It's a picture of Norm. It's a meme, and it's a picture of Norm at a table with a whole bunch of chips in his hand. He's playing. I mean, he looks serious. And it says, "Here's the quote: They call gambling a disease, but it's the only disease where you can win a bunch of money." So yeah, it is. It is different. What's this next one? Oh, okay. All right. So this will be the last one, and then we'll move on. But I did want to show this. This is that clip. This is the Saturday Night Live, his Burt Reynolds character. This is him as Burt Reynolds. Now, it's all about the attitude in this character. Here we go.
Answer. Burt Reynolds.
That's not my name.
Okay. Turd Ferguson.
Yeah, what do you want?
You buzzed in.
No, I didn't.
Yes, you did.
Yeah, well, that's your opinion.
I hate my job.
All right, there you go. That was the Turd Ferguson visit on Jeopardy. Is there anything else? Maybe there might be something. Oh, wait a second. Yeah, hold on. Yeah, you know what? I'm sorry. We're not going to be done. This is probably my funniest memory of Norm Macdonald. It was in the mid 90s, maybe late 90s. He was on Conan O'Brien's show, and he had been the first guest. So he moved down on the couch, and then the next guest came out, and it was the actress Courtney Thorne Smith, who was in the movie, who was promoting the movie that Carrot Top made called Chairman of the Board, where the premise was Carrot Top was a surfer who suddenly inherited his father's company and he ran it like a surfer, right? Okay, so it sounds like, you know, a dumbass 90s movie. So Courtney Thorne Smith is on the set. Norm is sitting in the middle slot. You got Andy Richter next to him, way at the end of the couch, and he's mercilessly, whenever Norm was on a talk show, he would just mercilessly screw with everybody. Like he had a quick wit, and he had a barb for absolutely everything. So this was during Courtney Thorne Smith's little moment on Conan to promote the new Carrot Top movie, Chairman of the Board. This is an example of how freaking fast Norm Macdonald is. I mean, this is just a brilliant mind. Here we go.
There's this movie coming out.
Yes.
Title undetermined at this point.
Chairman of the board.
Oh, all right. Do something with that, you freak.
I bet the board is spelled B-O-R-E-D.
And Conan almost fell back on his chair. He laughed so hard at that. I remember seeing that live on television and thinking, holy crap, is that a good line? That is so, I was so amazed in that moment watching that as a 20-something-year-old little radio producer thinking, God, could my mind ever be that fast? And I'm like, no way, give it up. You can't compete. You can't, because, you know, there's a time when I thought that was pretty funny. And then, yeah, not really. Didn't really pan out. But it's people like that that are just so incredibly gifted. Chairman of the Board. Let's see. There was something that I wanted to play, because the legacy of Norm Macdonald is always going to be that he wasn't afraid of anybody. And not like, I'll kick your ass, not afraid of anybody, but just like, yeah, I'll kill you with my tongue. You know, what are you going to do to me? I'm going to make you look so silly, which is, you know, to my mind, a better way of being a tough guy. But the legacy of Norm is always going to be how he got jettisoned from Saturday Night Live for refusing to do what Don Ohlmeyer said. Don Ohlmeyer was friends with O.J. Simpson. Norm Macdonald every week on Saturday Night Live was making O.J. Simpson jokes. This is during the trial. And then finally, O.J. was found not guilty. And Don Ohlmeyer sent a fax to Norm at Saturday Night Live. Okay, it's been settled. Enough with the O.J. jokes. I'm done. I don't want to hear another O.J. joke. And Norm apparently was handed this by one of the producers, and he looked at it, crumpled it up, and threw it out and said, okay, no problem. And then immediately opened up. I don't know if this is the joke. It might be. Let's see. But if it's not, I'll tell you the joke, and I won't do it as well. Here we go. Okay, so here it is. This is, remember now, he's just been told if he does any more O.J. Simpson jokes, he's going to be fired.
And now the fake news. Well, it is finally official. Murder is legal in the state of California.
And that was it. That's the joke that he let off with after being told. And it's a big picture of O.J. Simpson smiling in the courtroom. That's it. That's why he got fired from Saturday Night Live. It was that joke. Let's see if there's anything more. Do
you think it had to do maybe with the attorneys at that point?
No, it had to do with Don Ohlmeyer was the executive producer and creator of Wide World of Sports, and O.J. Simpson was a correspondent, and they became best friends. And Don Ohlmeyer and O.J. were best friends, and he didn't like O.J. being... This was an executive trying to influence creative content.
I get that, but at the point where he's found innocent, and you're saying that murder is allowed... Don't you think that possibly you're opening up the network to litigation from OJ?
No, because he's not slandering OJ. He's slandering the legal system in California. He's not. That's technically.
But they're showing a picture.
Well, he's a public figure, and he's the number one public figure of the moment. So yeah, no, that's public domain. That's yeah, no, I think he's totally okay. But it's the workaround. Like you could see Norm going, that wasn't an OJ joke. Like you could see him go, what? I can't do anything. That was great. All right. So all right, and this
He
is the
did
last
say, "Here is the fake news," as pointed out by the chat room.
Yeah, that was how he signed on. All right, so this is we'll listen to this. This is this couple minutes, so just listen to it. But this is I don't want to play it. I mean, I don't know. Can I play it? Maybe I can. You know what? This is fine. This might even be a problem. Who knows? By the way, CNN is now projecting that Newsom defeats recall, will remain California governor. Okay, moving on from politics. So this is Seth Meyers from tonight. So this is Seth. I don't know. I like Seth Meyers. I don't really get to see his show a whole lot, but I really do like him. I like his comedy. I like his style. So here was Seth today talking about Norm Macdonald. So here we go.
Really tragic news that we found out just a couple hours before we started taping. Norm Macdonald, the fantastic comedian, passed away at the age of 61. We were very sad to hear it. I do not think that Norm would want to hear anything sentimental, but I would like to say a few of my favorite things that I heard Norm say, that I was lucky enough to hear Norm say over the years. I started at SNL in 2001, and I remember one time Norm walked back into the studio to visit. I don't remember how old his son was at the time, but his son was young, and someone said, "Hey, Norm, how's being a dad?" And he said, "It's going great. Still no abductions." That's the first thing I ever heard him say in person. I always think about this. I wrote it down because I wanted to make sure I got it right. This is my favorite Weekend Update joke of all time that I think about often. It is.
It should also be mentioned. Seth Meyers was a Weekend Update host, so there's that brotherhood that they have in common as well.
Perfect Norm joke. The richest girl in the world, billionaire Athena Onassis, celebrated her 10th birthday this week. What's it like to be the richest girl in the world? Well, to give you some idea, at the party, they had 2 cakes. SNL 40th was a few years ago. I got to stand on stage with Colin Quinn and Kevin Nealon and Norm. And the SNL 40th was a night where everyone just got a couple things to say. There were so many people there, and it was really limited. And I remember the 4 of us each had a little thing to say. I believe memory serves before we introduced Chevy. I think that was the role we were serving. And I remember we all said our line, myself and Colin and Kevin, and then Norm just started talking. And none of it was what he was supposed to say. Wally, you were holding the cards. And I will say, I haven't seen this much in my years with Wally, but you did a thing where you actually looked at the cards in an effort to find. And I remember laughing really hard, not at what Norm was saying as much as the idea that any of us thought Norm would play by anyone else's rules on any night. He told me once that his favorite thing about SNL is you can still, it's like the last place on TV where you can bomb. And, there's a warm-up comedian at the beginning of the night at SNL, usually a cast member or a writer. But the commercials, it's not like going to a sitcom taping or other tapings where anyone is trying to keep the energy up during the show. And Norm said that was so great because around if the show was bad, you could literally just go out there and bomb. And that both made that level of difficulty something that I think he really respected. And also he loved, or I should say, he just didn't care if he was bombing. If he thought the jokes were good, he had exactly as much fun telling them to a dead audience than to one who appreciated them. And I think for so many of us, we came up watching Norm and we thought that you were on the inside with him when you were watching him tell these jokes that you thought were great and no one in the room thought was good. And you just felt this connection to him and that ability to just stare into an audience unblinkingly telling the jokes that you believed in. He also told me that his son, I said to him, one of the hardest parts about doing Update for me was not telling every joke the way I thought Norm would tell it. Like, I had to beat Norm's delivery out of me. It still sneaks in all the time, but I really had to keep an eye on it. And I told him how hard that part was to me. And he said, I'm so glad to hear you say that, because my son was watching you on Update and said to me, you talk like Seth Meyers. And he told me that when he said that, he said, oh no, my son doesn't know how time works. He was the gold standard, and he will continue to be the gold standard. And I would just suggest that everybody go watch him tell the Moth story on Conan. Go watch any number of Norm Macdonald things tonight, because they are really truly timeless. Rest in peace, Norm. I will be right back with more Late Night.
All right, there you go. It was very nice.
I thought he really pegged it, because the way that he tells jokes is something that sticks out with me.
I swear, I thought that dog was right next to me. That collar is so loud on these mics.
I don't know what she got freaked out about, but she just come running over here like she thinks I'm going to take her out or something. But
so
anyway.
the way that he told jokes,
yeah, like he didn't care, and he pointed that out in just what he said there over the few minutes. And I remember the times that I did see him live or watched him. Yeah, he enjoyed bombing, kind of. He didn't care if he was bombing.
Kind of like Dallas's own Dave Little, who just loves to sit in it. Just loves to see the people not get it. And then as long as there's like 5 people who do get it, he feels vindicated.
Like and then after a while, that works on the audience in a way where you like seeing him sit in it, and then you start laughing watching him sit in it. And he just had a way of doing that now that I think back about it, that's something that, it's going to be really missed.
Yeah. All right. So there we go. Our Norm Macdonald tribute. Very funny guy. He died. Cool way to do it too. Very, very Norm Macdonald. They used to say, or everybody is saying tonight, about how Norm Macdonald, like all of his friends, or Craig Gass, our buddy Craig Gass, put a really nice thing out on Twitter about how he became friends with Norm over the last few years, and how he was never able to tell Norm how funny he thought he was, and how incredible his joke writing was, and all of that stuff. And he said that he was never able to do that because Norm wasn't that kind of guy. You didn't compliment Norm Macdonald. If you complimented him, then he would shoot back something that makes you feel like an idiot for liking him. You know what I mean? Like he was very humble. Or I don't know if that's humble. Certainly, yeah. I think there's a degree of humility there. But he was uncomfortable being deified in the world of comedy. But he really, really was. I mean, like I said, everybody that I knew in comedy just loved Norm Macdonald. And now to learn that he had been suffering with cancer for 10 years and wanted nobody to know, that speaks to the same thing, where he doesn't want people telling him how much they like him. Because, when you learn someone's dying, that's suddenly when everybody's going to start calling. Everybody wants to tell him how perfect, you know what I mean? And he didn't want that. He didn't need that. And that's interesting for a comedian, because comedians need stuff like that all the time. Most comedians need to be reassured all the time. They need the applause. They need everyone to applaud. They need everyone to laugh. I mean, the most insecure people on the planet are stand-up comedians. I mean, they are. They really are. And it's also a reason why so many of them end up killing themselves, because it's a very dark thing inside when you have to have the entire room laughing. One comedian told me once, and I'm not sure how, I think it was Ralphie May. I think it was Ralphie who said that he can be in a room with 300 people and he can be killing them. But if there's one girl sitting in the middle of the room who doesn't look like she's having a good time, his night will be wrecked. That it's that one, 299 people having the time of their life doesn't mean anything to him. but one person that doesn't like what he's doing wrecks him. Like just, and you know, I can't really relate to that because I don't have 299 people telling me how great I am. I would love those odds, but I can understand it. I mean, I can see how that's a thing. All right, let's move along here. Let's get into some stuff that we can have some fun. And you know, not that wasn't fun. Norm Macdonald, he didn't want anybody crying over it. I think we did it. We did good. We played some of his stuff. We talked about. We laughed. That's all you can do. All right, so now here's what I want to do. You want to do the dating resumes?
No, I want to do the videos.
Oh man, I'm not.
Well, you told me to tell you what I wanted to do.
All right,
that's what I want to do.
All right, we will do the American. We've been teasing this damn. What is it? Dating resumes for a week. I have put so much work into this. I have been working tirelessly for 2 weeks to put together the absolute best segment that we possibly could. Sorry, it's not opening anyway. Hold on.
Well, I think we could do it like the Jimmy Kimmel show. Like he constantly says, Matt Damon is gonna be on.
Oh yeah, that's gonna be our geek.
Our dating resumes could be
our lineup geek.
Our lineup, yeah.
All right. Let's see what we got here. But you are gonna, you know what? You are gonna look. I've even got, man. No, I won't. I was gonna say I'm gonna throw. Let me just throw 5 of Sinatra's ladies at you, but no, I won't. Never mind. We'll go. Oh, you know who else? Because we might not get to it. Someone suggested it on the night we were talking about the Seth Meyers, and they were absolutely, or not Seth Meyers, Derek Jeter going into the Hall of Fame, and they were absolutely right. John Mayer. Oh my God. Like years before John Mayer was famous, John Mayer was running around with Demi Moore and yeah. Ashton Kutcher wasn't the first, little boy that Demi Moore got her hooks into. All right, here you go. All right, here's what we're going to do. This is the first one. We'll start out because ladies first. This is going to be our American Video segment for today. We're just going to watch some videos of, terrible people doing terrible things. Typically, we'd like them to be Americans, but in this case, all right, here we go. Mom of the Year right here. This is a YouTuber, an influencer mom trying to get some clicks. Here's the problem. She forgot to edit her video. She forgot to edit out the stuff that she didn't want people to see. So this is what influencer mom. All right, let's just watch it, right? Check this out. Here we go. This is the first one in the women's division. Here we go. Okay. Why isn't that working?
Because you're running the video.
Hold on. Let's try this again. No. I'm doing it the same way I always do.
As if you have a great success rate.
I do. I'm 100% so far.
We've done it once.
See, there she is. Oh, man. You know what? I am using it from a different platform. Maybe you're not allowed to, maybe this doesn't work if I'm just pulling it from Reddit. Maybe I needed to download it or something. Well, this is no good.
All right, we'll go to the men's segment, men's category.
No, because there's more that we can try. All right, so anyway, the deal with that woman was she was a mom who was she was crying. She had her cross out, and she was just talking about how she was doing this like crazy anti-virus rant and all that about how they're being oppressed for not wearing. And she's crying, and then she stops for a minute and she turns to her 4-year-old son and she goes, "Start crying now." He's like, she's like, "No, cry harder." And she's like yelling at him. She's like, "Give me your face." And she like starts pinching his face, and the little kid's crying. And then she cuts back to it and she's like, "You look, it's destroying my kid's life and it's destroying my life." So that's what we missed because I don't think we can share.
She was an anti-vaxxer or anti-virus? She didn't.
No, she was an anti-vaxxer. She didn't. Okay. She felt that her rights were being stripped away from her because her kid had to wear a mask into school and that her kid was being traumatized, and her kid was not being traumatized. The only person traumatizing her kid was her. And the kid was like, "Mom, I don't want to do this." I'm telling you, man, these influencers, these YouTubers, they are bad news. And if she had edited that, your crazy aunt and my crazy aunt would have been like, well, I saw this nice woman on YouTube and her boy was crying because they were being so mean to him about. See, that's how bullshit gets sent around. So
meanwhile, she had the crab claw on his cheek.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, she's pinching his damn cheek. She's like, cry, cry. I'm really worried that we're not going to be able to use any of these because a lot of them are. Oh, this one looks different. Oh, but I'm not sharing it. Okay. Yeah. I didn't. Maybe there's a problem with being able to, run these off of Reddit. I don't know. Let's try it. Okay, here's a crazy. See if this one works. Okay. Okay. There we go. All right. Okay. Is that working?
I see it.
You see it, unlike the other one. Okay, look at this crazy lady. All right, so this crazy lady, she's on to something. This is another one, all our crazy aunts. Ugh. I heard that bras. Okay, listen to this. Oh.
Bra here. And I just watched a video. I have a pink bra here. Pink. If you have
She just watched the video.
Anybody in your family that has the new pink bras, I've had this one for 1 year now. As of today, September, we're Labor Day. So I'm cutting off this tag.
Bra tags.
And they are tracking us. They are human trafficking us. This is how they find your daughter.
Okay.
This, folks, look in the bras. Get rid of this. This is a tracking device. It even has little numbers on it down here. They are tracking your children.
All right. So there you go. And remember now, she saw a video. She went to YouTube, saw another one of these scammers, and now she's passing it along. She literally thinks that training bras for little girls are being sold with tracking devices because there's like a scan code thing inside that bra label. So she now wants everybody to cut off those labels. Look, I don't know, it's been so long since I've handled a bra, but she wants everybody to go and cut those tags off their bras because that's how they are stealing our children. Who the hell are they? Tom Hanks and Madonna? Who is they?
Well, I think that pink, is a line that's at Victoria's Secrets, I think. And I would be more comfortable saying that's an inventory control number.
Right. It's something so that they can be able to scan them or for inventory, right?
Right. Or it's some hidden tape that's inside there. So you walk out of the store and all of a sudden you hear the
Are you sure? Are you sure that it's not a tracking device that they're putting in there so that they can steal your daughter at the mall and then you'll never see her again and she'll have to go live with Elton John?
Why would I need a bra on somebody in order to steal them?
Because they want specifically young girls. So that's why they're going after those.
I can't tell a young girl by looking at her. I need the bra number. I mean, there's no logic to it.
No, there isn't. There's no logic to any of this shit. But these people are back crap. These people have absolutely no foot in the real world. They have half of this country has not half. That's unfair. But a good 20% of this country has completely spun off into. I mean, did you Nicki Minaj today? What Nicki Minaj said why she didn't go to the Met Gala last night?
I heard it was trending, but I didn't actually stop down to listen.
Yeah,
she was trending.
The big Met Gala was last night, which is the Metro. It's a big. Well, it's turned into a big fashion event. I think it's a big charity event that they have in New York every year. And it's like the big fashion event in New York. And Nicki Minaj has always been a showstopper there because she wears the crazy clothes and all that stuff. And they didn't have it last year because of COVID, so they did it this year. And they required people to be vaccinated. And Nicki Minaj didn't attend, and she sent out a tweet. A tweet that says she is not going to attend because she is not yet vaccinated because she's still researching and she's on it right now. Nicki Minaj is, forget about the CDC and the World Health Organizations and all the universities and all the scientists. Nicki Minaj is on it. She's going to find something. Come on. What the hell is wrong with people? That fool.
Wow. Yeah, there's that.
What are you going to do? Okay, now this one, this is in the local division. This was a girl. This I saw over the weekend, and oh my goodness, was this wonderful. Well, hold on a second. All right, we'll make that bigger, and then we're gonna. So here's the setup for this one.
The other thing that makes no sense about that bra thing,
Huh?
is what's to say that when you leave the store with the bra, it's not a gift for somebody? Like, how do you know that that bra is not going to a different person that's not at the store?
Dude, they don't think this shit through. They just go with the lowest hanging explanation and they pluck that off the vine, and then that's what they're going with. Oh, yeah, because I heard Alex Jones tell me that they were coming to take my daughter, and this makes total sense when you completely believe the bullshit from the jump off. I mean, it's just one other piece of she has been convinced of so much bullshit that makes sense to her in her world now. All right, here's this one. So this is here in Dallas. This is some Texas girls. These are two sisters. One of them was in a job interview, and apparently the one that was in the job interview was having an affair with the other sister, or with the other sister's husband. So let's see how that turned out, shall we? Let's get it right here. All right, here we go.
Isn't she already auditioning for a job that her sister had?
Well, yeah, in more than one way. So here we go. This is what happened at the job interview. The sister crashed the job interview.
Hey, no. She's my fucking sister. She's my fucking husband. No, stop it. What? You big guys. You what? Don't you ever fucking talk to me again.
Oh, that's real Texas. Look at her. She's on the floor. Girls fight mean.
Hey, no.
This is where she just pounds on her.
No, stop it.
All right, so if you hear her yelling through that very thick Texas accent, she's my sister. She screwed my fucking husband, is what she said. And then she started hammer fisting her on the ground while holding her hair. Did she get the job? That's what I would like to know how that played out.
How did you figure out she was interviewing for a job?
The description on the video.
Oh.
Yeah, I just don't show the description because I want the video to be bigger. The sister who was screwing the other sister's husband was on a job interview. The sister knew that she was going to be there for a job interview, and she crashed the job interview and beat the shit out of her right in front of the person interviewing her.
I like the lady in the back going, no.
But I also like the girl. That's redneck logic. Like, the woman who was doing the interviewing was just, what is going on here? And the sister doing the beatdown used that redneck logic of, it's okay. She's my sister. She's fucking my husband. Like, that would make it fine. Like, I'm not a shooter. I'm not going to kill everybody in the office, but I'm going to whip this bitch's ass right here.
I want to hear that lady in the back, the no. I think that was the best part of that video.
All right, let's move on though. We've got more. All right, so we didn't get
actually. The chat room agrees with me.
Okay, all right, we can do it again. We'll play it again. Hey,
LOL at the lady in the background. Sean says,
all right,
no, lady.
You people want, I gives. We got nothing but time to kill here. All right, here we go. Oh, no, not that one. I'm sorry. That's the next one.
This is like after about 3 hammer fists, she's going, no.
All right, here we go.
Hey, no. She's my fucking sister. She's my fucking husband. No, stop it. You big guys. What?
Man.
Don't you ever fucking talk to me again.
Oh.
Again.
Dude, what part of Texas is that?
Don't you ever talk to me again.
Oh, the chair goes over.
Hey, No. She's my fucking sister. She's my fucking husband. No, stop it.
No. We'll have none of that.
What? Don't you ever fucking talk to me again.
Seriously, like that's not Dallas. That's like well, what is that, like Tyler? Is that, like East Texas or is that West? Because Texas has a lot of accents. There's a lot of variations, and when you get, that's probably like Greenville or like somewhere like up that
That's
way.
Trailer Park, Texas.
Close,
Again.
Panhandle, closer to Arkansas, because that kind of had a real Arkansas. The closer you get up to Arkansas, the harder that you get with the accent. But Dallas, I've always said this, Dallas and Austin are like, when you listen to people from the United Kingdom, like Dallas and Austin are London. They're like, these are the Texas accents that are kind of fancy, kind of refined. They're kind of sweet. You can put up with a Dallas, Texas accent because that's the one. That's like if this was England, the Queen would live in Dallas and she would have this accent. Oh, bless your heart, darling. But once you get out into the sticks, don't you ever do that again.
Again. So after watching that ass whipping, what do you think her husband looks like? Like he's probably got to be black and blue.
Oh, yeah.
Right? I mean, a girl like that goes off on her sister, I mean, that guy's probably hospitalized at this point.
Dude, I know you've dated a lot of girls here. You were single for a long time before you got married. Well, between marriages even. You and I both have 2 strikes. Well, I'm on 2 strikes. You're on 1 strike. Did you ever date a Texas girl from the sticks, or maybe one from Arkansas, or something, like a real redneck girl who was hot and stuff? And you run into them a lot at the strip clubs. That's where you find they come to Dallas. The really good ones come to Dallas, and that's where you end up running into them. They are frosty, man. They will go off. When they get drunk, they don't just get tipsy, they get shit-faced. And if anybody rubs them the wrong way, there will be a fight in the Whataburger parking lot. It is.
Yeah.
I had 2 girls. One girl was from not Waxahachie, but some town like just outside Waxahachie, a suburb of Waxahachie. So it was even more. And she was crazy. Then there was another girl who was a real live rodeo queen. Like she was a rodeo. She came from Oklahoma and she grew up riding rodeo, and she was like Miss Rodeo Oklahoma 1999 or something like that. And I saw her whip another girl's ass in a club. And it was like on the dance floor, like pulling the extensions. I'm like, yeah, she's hot, but she ain't ever meeting my mom. Not a chance.
Yeah, it was actually the girl that had the worst temper like that, and she scared me, was my first wife.
Oh,
like
really?
you ever see a horse when a horse gets kind of spooked?
Yeah.
And they got that wild eye like that? I would see that horse eye and I would be like, okay, time for me to back it down.
I'm leaving. I'm going to go have a couple drinks. Right. You stay here and kick holes in the walls.
Yeah,
I'll be back.
The eye would kind of come and I'd be like, okay, that's the signal. Like, that was like the tell card. Like, yeah. Okay, next thing, something's going to be flying or she's going to be flying at me. And so we ended up getting separated and then ultimately got divorced. And she picked up MMA fighting.
Oh, yeah, I remember that. About her. So she's got a way to channel her rage now.
And we went to, we remained friends through all that. And so she's like, oh, yeah, I'm doing MMA fighting with Guy Metzger's gym. And she went in the corner, and I thought to myself, oh, my God, this poor lady that she's about to fight has got no idea of, like, the rage that's inside of her.
Oh, yeah.
And that was it. Like, it was like her first fight. She didn't really know how to fight, but they knew that if they got her pissed off, like she got hit a few times, she would turn into this beast. She lost the first round, but the second and third round, she owned her. Like, it was like,
Well,
Just
that's
crazy.
what it takes. That
Yeah.
you got to set her off. She's
Exactly.
got to take a couple of shots before it sets her off.
And I saw the horse eye about midway through the first round. If like they would have had betting at that fight, I would have went and bet everything. I was like, okay, she's gonna win the second round and she's gonna win the third round. I've seen this before.
This ain't going to the distance. There's gonna be a KO. I know that somebody's going down.
She didn't knock her out, but she did win the next 2 rounds. It was fun.
Remember last night after my son's football game when he was super salty and we were on one side of the fence and he was walking on the other side of the fence and he barely acknowledged us. I mean, he gave us this as he walked by, but he had that rage and that look on his face. And you commented, "Oh, I've seen that look before." You have seen that look before. You know what I didn't say? I was going to say, "So have I," and not from him.
Right. Someone real close to him, but not him.
I've seen that boiling cauldron where someone's about to get their ass whipped. Somebody's going down. All right. So let's do another one. Yeah. Okay. That's a fun one. That's going to be hard to beat her, right? The sisters from,
I think the only thing that beats that is if we got the video of her whipping her husband's ass.
That would be a good one. All right, let's try this one now. Here's it's already pulled up, so that's good. We'll be able to do this one quick. Okay, this comes to us from Huntington Beach, California. This is a woman behaving badly at a restaurant. Let's see how this plays out, shall we? Here we go. All right. Is it shared? Can you see it?
Nope.
No, it's not shared yet. That's my bad. Okay, there we go. Oh, there it is. Okay. Boom. Boom. How about now?
Got it.
Got it. All right, here you go. This is now this, I don't know what's going on here. She seems very drunk, but here's what I love about her. She spends most of the time here explaining to the people that are telling her to calm down. She spends most of the time saying that she's fine and that she hasn't hit her or that she hasn't punched her while she's hitting her and punching her. I'm not hitting her. I'm not. So here, watch this. Watch how this plays out. This is at some restaurant. Apparently there was an argument over the bill. I don't know. This person seems like they're out of control. Here. Okay. We'll start it over. What's she doing? She's spraying cleaning fluid.
What?
Oh, rampaging.
Whoa.
We're coming at you live. Throw more together. Go on, lady.
So she's an anti-masker.
Why are you doing it?
I don't get it. People are wonderful.
So she got into it literally with 3 people in that video. And then the dog's over here now. She heard it. Doesn't like fighting. And then sprayed somebody, whacked another person with the menu.
Mm-hmm.
And she's wondering why they're doing that. Like, she's just totally drunk.
Well, yes, she's drunk and she doesn't appreciate. I forgot. There was a little accompanying story that I read before, like earlier this afternoon when I found that video. And the setup was, I think I said they were arguing about. I know what they were arguing about. They were arguing. The woman didn't appreciate that her waitress was wearing a mask. And she wanted her to take the mask off, and she wouldn't take the mask off. And then she went nuts. She went nuts because she wouldn't take. Like I said, man, 20% of this country is fucking nuts. They've lost their complete. I don't know. We should all just stay home. Don't go anywhere because these people are out there and they've been emboldened.
since when did a chest bump become a fighting move?
Bitch. I know. And she had really big boobs, and she was wearing a half shirt, so it was like,
I don't know. It was like she was giving her like a boob flop chest bump. It was weird.
Now, how does she rate against the sisters from East End?
I still like the sisters one better.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's going to close out the women's division for today's edition of American Vidiots. Should we go to the dude edition?
Sure.
All right. Or the dude. Oh wait, how many dudes do I have here? Do I have one? Yeah, there we go. Okay, so we got 3. Now, these are just more interesting. Like those were crazy. Now, this one here, this is from Texas. This is a guy who has one of those big ass pickup trucks, and he was towing his RV. Okay, here, let me.
He has a Texas Cadillac.
Yes, he does. He's got one of them. Actually, now that I think about it, I don't know what it is. I just know it's one of those pickup trucks that's big enough to be able to pull an RV, pull like a Winnebago kind of a thing.
A dually?
I think so, probably.
Okay.
I don't remember exactly, but it was one of those. And let me put you this way. He thought that he was going to be able to pull that Winnebago on the back of the dually right into the Dairy Queen parking lot. Right, not through the parking lot, through the drive-through. He decided he was going to go through the drive-through. Let's see how that worked out for him, shall we? Texas, you're the best. Here he goes. Okay. Here we are. And action. Oh, okay. He didn't make the turn. There's no sound. He didn't make the turn. So that's a problem. But he ain't giving up. He's going to keep going.
Yeah,
and then here's the other angle. Wait, watch this.
Oh, my.
Guts the whole RV.
He's obviously never driven with an RV behind this truck before.
He's got, and look at it. What is that black smoke coming from? Oh, is that because he's grinding?
He's spinning his wheels.
Oh my God. Okay, let's watch.
Pulling the car.
Yeah.
Or trying to pull the RV around the corner.
But how stupid do you have to be? I mean,
he's got to be drunk.
I've never pulled an RV before, and I wouldn't in a million years think that I could take it through a drive-through. Oh, it just guts the whole side of it.
Yeah, and he's stuck, and so now he's stepping on the gas, and he's spinning the wheels, and he's burning rubber.
It's not a dually. I was wrong. It is a big truck, but it's not a dually. There he is. All right, so that's contestant number 1. That's another one here from the great state of Texas. We're all so proud. Let's see here. Okay, so now the next one. Now this one's going to be. I don't know that. Wait, was this one in Texas too? Because a lot of these I found on this Texas Reddit thread because I was looking for local stuff. This is one of those. You know how like gear queers will all gather at like a hamburger stand or on a Friday night, and they'll put their hoods up and they'll all walk around and look at each other's cars, right? You know what I mean? Those like impromptu car shows.
Okay. Never heard him referred to like that, but all right.
So, like in Chicago, where I grew up on the South Side, there was a drive-in, not a movie drive-in, a drive-in like Sonic, like a place where you'd go for burgers and stuff, and they'd come out and bring it. And at this drive-in, it was called Duke's, and Duke's was famous for every Saturday. What do you want to do? I don't know. Let's go look at the cars at Duke's, because all the street racers would meet at Duke's, and they'd have all their cars and all that stuff. And that's kind of what this is. But this seems to be a gas station where
the Happy Days version of the sock hop.
Yeah, I mean, but something that probably goes back to the 1950s, where I don't know how big street racing is where you were from, but it was pretty big where I am, and I know it's big here.
Well, I mean, they certainly had the muscle cars in my day that you would get.
But there wasn't like a place in your town or your neighborhood where everyone got together, where you could know if you were looking to race for like $50, you could go there and challenge somebody and make $50.
Yeah, we had like a strip that you would race down, but it wasn't like lined
Yeah.
up like a drag strip where
Well,
everybody
no.
sat on the side.
Everybody had the strip, but somewhere like within a half mile of the strip, there was a burger joint or a Kmart parking lot or something where all the dudes would come and hang out, and then they'd start challenging each other, and then you'd have a race.
Yeah, across from my high school, we had a Taco Bell, a Pizza Hut, and a McDonald's.
Yeah.
And those 3 parking lots would kind of gather us all in there.
All right, so let's watch what happens here. These are gear queer idiots, and we're gonna let this one play out because there's a couple of different acts here. It's just watch, watch and enjoy. Here we go. All right, gear queers. By the way, this would be my new show, Gear Queers. Just all this kind of stuff. Here we go. Yeah, and this is how it goes down. Guys start John. Here we go. America 2021. Yep, pulls out a handgun. He tells the girlfriend to hold the gun. Now he's gonna fight. Tough guy with a gun now wants to fight. Let's see how this works out for him. What the hell is happening? Stop! In front of his girlfriend too. His girlfriend's holding the gun.
Get your man! Get your man!
Get your man!
Get your man! Get your man! Get your man! Hold me right now! Right now! Get that nigga!
Oh, he wants more now. These guys never realize when they've gotten their ass to the ground. Now he's trying to figure out what happened.
Bro, what the hell just happened?
That's what I'm saying. In front of his girlfriend, that happened. He was a tough guy with a gun. He got his ass
and everything.
I guess he gets the gun.
Get his plates real quick.
Oh, is it starting up again? Oh, we're back for round 2. And he's getting his ass whipped again. This ain't a good night for him. Oh, now everybody's beating up. Yeah, because he's the bitch who pulls the gun. He deserves to get his ass completely whipped. What the hell happened? Well, the girlfriend's putting him in the car. He can't even drive himself home. She's going to drive home. The fat guy. Just know that he's a fat guy. It's like... And really? Is that all he got? Mustang? Calm down, baby. I don't think you're less than Hey! So he's about to cry. He doesn't know what to do. He doesn't know what his next move is. And he's stupid, so the next move could be anything. Oh, what's he doing? Oh, he's looking for the guy. The other guy looks like smartly. Everybody's filming him.
Hey, bro, just take your L, go home.
Hey, man, just take your L and go home.
What the heck?
Hey, say anything. Hey! I want to hear the chirping again from the crowd.
Go ahead, look like right. What the heck?
Can't say anything.
Hey! Y'all move. Let's get out. Hey, let's get out.
All right. What state is that? Is that Texas? Can you see the plates?
Yeah.
Look at this Texas, right?
Yep. All three, bro. What the fuck, yeah.
I mean, I don't know. Do you let that guy go? I mean, he pulled out a gun and waved it around in a crowd of people. In 2021, that's a huge charge.
Bring that, Daniel.
Laredo. All right, so Laredo, Texas, maybe, or is that just a taco? Oh, cars across Texas. There you go. Just look at the bottom of the screen. All right, and off he goes.
Bro, yeah.
Oh, they got him!
Bro, drunk guy that just got his ass kicked is getting... Yeah, Tim.
Hey, what did he do?
He was drunk. Oh, you know, it's not him. Oh, he's him right here, back here. Yeah.
Oh, there he is.
He was drunk and fighting people.
And with a gun. The gun charge is the big one. Good job, police. Good
Wow,
job.
there is a lot going on in that video.
Yeah. All right. So you want to start with the breakdown? What did you see?
Well, first of all, he should have stuck with the gun. I know why a guy like him has a gun, because he can't fight.
Yeah. Well, but that's the other thing. Every stupid guys raised by stupid dads are now so overly aggressive because it's so easy to be able to carry a gun, especially in the state. You just buy a gun and have it. Everybody can be a tough guy. And when you're raised by a moron, that's what you get. That dude obviously comes from a long line of genetic morons.
So he pulls the gun, then gets called out for the gun, gives it to his girlfriend
to stash,
then calls the other guy to fight him.
Calls the other guy a pussy.
Right. And then this is the move that made no sense to me. Why'd he take his shirt off?
Because that's the flex, man. That's the idiot's flex.
You look like that and you're flexing?
More time. Come on, man. I told you, long genetic line of morons. He's not thinking the way you and I would. I would never take my shirt off in a fight.
I mean, if I'm about to fight a guy and he's about to pull his shirt off, the minute his shirt gets over his head, I'm on top of him. Like, you don't, like that. When you go to fight somebody in New York, you're fighting. You're not taking off clothing.
It's not a dance. It's right. Not like, come on, let's go. Because he was hoping that the other guy backed down and just left. That's what his hope was.
And then he did that little dance. Right? Yeah, come on. He was kind of juking and doing that. And then this just big old boy that had a Texas A&M shirt on just came and dropped him.
Yeah, former second string linebacker back from '99. It was, and he went back. His problem was when the other guy made the first move, the bull rush for him. He came at him, and fat shirtless guy with the gun in that moment didn't know what to do because he's not a real fighter. He's never been trained. So he started to step backwards and he tripped. And when he tripped is when he got it because he's terrible.
And then he's on his back.
He's never fought before.
Yeah, and then he's on his back kicking.
Right.
No,
look, hey, the dude that went after him, the dude that put, look, the star of the video is the shirtless guy. The dude that put him on his ass, he knew that if you just bum rush a fool, that fool is not going to know how to respond to it because that guy is hoping against hope that somebody breaks him up. Remember those fights when we were kids? Come on. When all of your boys were holding you back and all of his boys, that's when you got the toughest because you knew. Yeah, that's what was going on.
Well, like the bar fight. It's like, okay, if you can go for 30 seconds or 45 seconds, even if you're the smaller guy, if you can go for that long and just play till the bouncers get there,
right, you're in.
You're golden. You know,
you might lose a tooth or get a little bloody, but that's okay.
but possibly. But I mean,
Your
you
pride
don't
is intact.
start taking your shirt off. Like there's not this whole dance to the fight. The fight would have been over if it were anywhere up north in seconds.
He's a big fat turkey, and he was out there peacocking like he was. I'm gonna take my shirt off. You're gonna see all my muscles, and then you're gonna see what you're in for. And it's just like blup. He's just Elmer Fudd out there.
The other thing that's obvious is his girl must have really loved him.
I don't know about that. I was gonna say if he hadn't gotten busted by the cops, that would have been a weird ride home.
Well, but she even got in the car with. I mean, he got embarrassed like 3 times. He's got a guy going, "Hey, dude, just take the L and go home."
Well, that's what I mean. The cops not look. He's probably happy the cops intervened because that car ride home would have been humbling for him. She would have been. You know how
she's probably arrested because she's got the gun on her.
Well, or she put it in the car, but maybe we don't know. But if they weren't arrested, that would have been the most passive aggressive girlfriend comments on the ride home. You know, stuff like, well, maybe you shouldn't have taken off your shirt. You know stuff like that. Are you okay? Because he really hit you hard a couple of times. I was worried that you were going to have to go to the hospital. Real, like, humiliating passive aggressive things.
That was
I didn't think that a guy as hot as him could fight the way he did. Like that. Oh, girlfriends. Hey, Sean tells us that those gas stations are somewhere down near Waco. So that's I didn't get it. What was it called?
With Stripes.
Stripes, yeah. Sean Fasano says those gas stations are down near Waco. All right, that's some Texas fun. All right, so we got one more in the men's division. This one is just disturbing. This is, when I say that the absolute worst and most un-American elements and beliefs and ideologies have been emboldened where people are comfortable in a way that they never have been before, this is what I mean, man. This is, we don't need that. That's already, okay. So let me pull this up. This is not America. What we're going to see here, this is not something that anyone in America in 2021 should be comfortable confronting a stranger over. This is what I like to call, this is the American Taliban. This is what we're moving towards. This is the, are we sharing it?
Yeah.
We got
a guy on the beach.
Yeah. Okay. So watch this. Tell me how different this is. For people who don't realize, because I know that a lot of people just think it was always people living in caves. Afghanistan was incredibly westernized. It was very progressive. Women had jobs. Women went to school. They didn't have to cover up. There were no burqas. They could wear, there were clubs. There was alcohol. Afghanistan was a pretty Western nation until the Taliban took over in the late 90s or mid 90s. And at that point, all the women's rights were taken away. That's when they all had to start wearing burqas. That's when they were no longer allowed to drive. That's when they were no longer allowed to educate themselves. And I'm telling you, man, there is an element in this country that is the American version of that, the American Taliban. So here it is. And let's listen to this guy and let's try and figure out why he feels so comfortable in 2021 confronting strangers like this. Listen.
Okay, so then why do you dress this way?
Dude, I'm hot and I like women, so please leave alone.
Well,
kindly.
Take young.
I'm at the beach in my bathing suit.
Yeah, that's a thong and that's a bra.
That is a fucking bathing suit.
Take young guys into consideration. They don't need to see pornography right in
We're
front of
not
their
coming
eyes.
up to you, bothering you. Please go away.
You're flaunting your stuff.
I'm not flaunting anything. Don't look at me.
How you look around and you're the only thing that sticks out because your whole body.
Okay, well, why are you looking at me? Close your eyes. What did you say is gouge your eyes out if I fucking bother you? Did I ask you to talk to me?
Here's the thing.
You
didn't, but here's the thing. There's free will in America. There's freedom of speech.
You don't get the fuck away.
And if men of God don't stand up, then our society's gonna go.
There we go, God.
Down the drain because there's no morality.
I'm atheist. Sorry. Yeah, same.
Okay, that's if you're an atheist, that doesn't mean you have to, show your body off. You can still put clothes on.
Oh, I can't with you.
Hey, here's the thing.
So embarrassing. I can't.
I'm speaking truth. Your body will never ever satisfy.
Please.
physical never ever satisfied. There's a longing in each of your hearts to actually be seen. The reason why you're showing your body, because you're like, am I pretty enough?
We're definitely pretty enough. Thank you.
Hey, I'm just saying.
Yes, please leave us alone.
Just next time you come to the beach and there's young eyes, take that into consideration.
What are you talking about? Charlotte, you're not saying shit to them. Yeah, what are you fucking talking about? You're gonna go bother that man now? Yeah, go. Move along.
That's a lot different.
How is that different? Because he has a fucking dick? Is that why?
Go down the drain because there's no.
All right. Well, there you have it. There you have a guy who's using God and his faith to confront strange women at the beach about wearing bikinis at the beach.
I didn't understand your intro with the Taliban.
If men of God don't stand up and say this to you, that's an American. The Taliban started grabbing women who weren't wearing burqas and beating the shit out of them because they were men of God, and them girls showing their ankles in Kabul was an affront against God and their religion. And there is no difference than what that guy said. That guy was bolded to do that. As he said, I am a man of God. And if men of God don't stand, that's how it fucking starts, dude. People who think that they can now look. Okay, go ahead. You give me your take on that.
Well, everything that you said there may very well be true about how it went on in Afghanistan or Iraq or wherever the Taliban is.
That is
right. That's what I'm saying. It may be, but I don't peg that guy as an Iraqi or an Afghanistan dude or a Taliban guy.
No, that's not.
He's a religious.
It's a man who is taking away free women's rights based on his religion because his God believes it's the same thing. Of course, it's not it's not Islam. It's evangelicalism. This guy is a crazy fucking Christian. And
he doesn't. He said the word pornography, and that to me was the immediate trigger to okay, this guy's very religious.
Well, the trigger to me was when he said, if men of God like myself don't stand up and say these things to you, this guy is trying to change the way women are in this country because they don't fit his version of what Jesus wants.
Well, and he was protecting the younger men at the beach.
Come on, man. Are you honestly trying to stand up for this guy?
No, I'm not.
Out of your fucking mind?
I'm not standing
at the beach.
I'm not standing up for him. I think, though, that there are crazy guys that will take that position because they believe that women are creating. Well, this whole part about, he said, oh, there's a longing in your heart. So now he's into the psychology of why she's exposing herself.
That's youth pastor bullshit.
Well, and then and then he's going to probably say, okay,
it's not his place, dude. It is not your place to confront strangers with that kind of nonsense.
I'm not suggesting that I would do such a thing, but they teach you to try to convert people that are non-believers or people that are acting in what they think to be sinful ways.
A bikini
not act that way.
A bikini at the beach. We've had 60 years of bikinis at American beaches, and suddenly in 2021, this guy suddenly thinks it's all right to do this. Really? That's not odd to you. That's not.
It's odd to me for sure. I mean, the fact that
Sean says his head would explode in Party Cove. Yes, it would.
For sure. Yeah. Okay. So who's the craziest guy?
Yeah. Who do you like most? Do you like a shirtless guy who ended up spending the night in jail because he couldn't fight and got his ass whipped? Do you like American Taliban? Or do you like Mr. I'm going to try and take my RV through the drive-thru at DQ?
I would go with the American Taliban guy. He's definitely the most crazy at that point. At this point,
what's going on? Did you see how quickly the chat room turned on you, and now suddenly you're trying to back off? I'm not that guy for governor of Texas.
No, I did not endorse him for governor of Texas. You had me thinking that I was seeing a Taliban guy, and I didn't understand the correlation between the two.
It was an analogy. It was using religion to basically harass women into your way of thinking. That's what the Taliban did. I didn't mean that he was going to be like on the beach in robes with a Kalashnikov. You know, he's an American who is using the same tactics that the Taliban used in the mid-90s to suppress women.
Okay, but if he would have
Come on.
But
he's never been to a beach before. They're the only girls wearing bikinis.
I don't think the Taliban would be protecting their young boys from seeing women that were naked. Like, I think they would be encouraging that, because they take those women and gang rape them and do horrible things to them as Taliban fighters. So I think there's more of a boys club.
We don't need to get it.
But I think there's more of a boys club there with the Taliban.
Those they rape women because they feel it's their right, because these women have offended God. But as far as their daily life,
but do you think they keep the boys away from the women?
Yes,
I think they encourage the
incredibly
boys.
Sexually repressed Islamic children growing up, boys especially, are what they're supposed to save it all, because in death they get 70 virgins.
So when you're a fighter, all of a sudden you get to screw girls?
Yes, because those are infidels. Those are the enemy. Yes, you're allowed to spoils.
But they have fighters that are 13 and 14 and 15.
Well, I don't know the details. And honestly, what you're talking about, I don't know to be the motives of the rank and file devout Islamist Taliban member. What you are describing seems to be things that were associated with ISIS, which is a different thing altogether. Those guys were maniac offshoot, hard fringe elements of Islam, and they weren't part of the Taliban. ISIS is like a whole different thing.
He seemed to me to be a holy roller.
Yes, and that's what I mean. I mean, we are starting to get more and more comfortable in this country suppressing female rights based on nothing more than what we believe, how we interpret the word of Jesus. And that is the exact same argument that the Taliban made when they destroyed everything that women had in Afghanistan. Over the course, if you were born in 1970, and you were 25 years old in 1995, you were a woman in Afghanistan, you were raised in a completely different way. You had a driver's license, you probably had a college education, you went out to have fun, you dated. I mean, you were still, there were people who Islam was the religion, but it wasn't. And then all of a sudden in 1996, bombs started to fall, and there were these crazy people taking over, and you had to wear a burqa, and you couldn't keep your job, and you had to stop driving. And all of that was justified because Allah wanted it. And this is our interpretation of what Allah wanted. I mean, that's what I mean by American tablet. It's the evangelical version of, look at what they're doing with women's rights in this state. It's a slow roll for sure, but man, these things you take what's happening legislatively in this state with women's rights. Then you add in that guy and his comfort level to just start going to the beach and harassing women. I'm telling you, I don't think it's going to gain any traction. I think it's going to get snuffed out real quick and women are going to be fine. But man, it's a scary time right now before all of these idiots get snuffed out. And by snuffed out, I don't mean killed. I mean that there will be a wave of why didn't
I think women need to start telling dudes to put their shirts back on when they're jogging.
And there we go. And now we're back. All right. Well, guess what? We're in this very weird period of the show now where we've got 10 minutes if we're truly going to go to midnight, and we don't have to, but that's not enough time for us to get into the dating. Although, why don't we do this? I'll tell you what, here's what we will do. We talked a couple of weeks ago about Derek Jeter going into the Hall of Fame, and what I focused in on was his dating resume. And it was an incredibly mind-bending resume. And so I said, let me do a little research. Let me find out if there are any other celebrity men who, can compete with that. Okay. And boy, oh boy, do I have a lot of men that we can put up against Derek Jeter's resume and try and but that's a segment. That's going to be a good half hour.
I'm telling you, this is the Jimmy Kimmel version.
Here's what I'm going to give you though.
Tease it every show and then we never get to it.
Here's what I will give you. I also said that I would look into women who also have these Derek Jeter-like dating resumes, right? So I actually compiled a list. I found there was one good, let's see, what was this? This article was from The Richest, so we'll just go here. 20 female celebs with the most exes. That's what this is, and then it lists these 20 females who have the most ex-boyfriends. Now, here's the only difference here. A lot of these women, like all the guys on our list, their impressive resume is because the women that they're dating are also famous women, right? Like they're also people that we'd have heard of. A lot of these women with exes, some of them are famous. I mean, there's a number of famous ones, but then there's also just a lot of big dumb boy toys, that they saw at the mall. Who they, Katy Perry is all hanging out with Brad down the block, right? He's not famous, but he's just someone she dated.
Or a dancer, a guy
Yeah.
that started out as a body hunk,
A background dancer or
right.
something like that. All right, so Katy Perry comes in at number 20 in this ranking, and her ex count. Now, you also have to remember, these are young people. Katy Perry's only been famous for like 10 years. I mean, right? 15 maybe? I don't know. She's not old. So this isn't like we're looking at a complete body of work. This is someone who's only been on the radar a few years. Katy Perry has 11 known exes. Oh, and also this thing was posted 3 years ago. So when did we first hear of Katy Perry? 2006, maybe? And then this was 3 years ago, so it's 2018. So it's like 12 years of dating, of public dating for Katy Perry. She's got 11. Let's see. Some of the famous ones, not even famous. Johnny Lewis, who was in Sons of Anarchy. She wrote the song "The One That Got Away" about him. Somebody named Travis McCoy, who I don't know. She's also got Josh Groban, who I've heard of, but I don't know anything about Josh Groban. You know who Josh Groban is?
I do. I think he sings.
Yeah, I don't know who that is.
Like does some kind of opera-ish music.
She's got Josh Groban, John Mayer.
Maybe is that him? Josh Groban.
I don't know. I think Lisa Simpson liked Josh Groban.
Used to be on Kelly Ripa's show.
Leonardo DiCaprio, Josh Duhamel. She married Russell Brand. And also Andrew Garfield. That's the Spider-Man guy who's playing Jim Baker in the new movie. I didn't know that. All right. So she's got some big names in there. I didn't know she dated him.
With Orlando Bloom too.
Well, yes, shit, there's more. I'm sorry. Robert Pattinson, Diplo, Orlando Bloom, Jared Leto. Yeah, she's rolling.
Right.
Now we're getting them. John Mayer, Robert Pattinson. Oh, man.
The Batman, the new Batman.
Yeah. Okay, so Katy Perry's got herself a lady resume. Hayden Panettiere. Now, you know who Hayden Panettiere is?
Before you move to her, though, didn't she have beef for a while with Taylor Swift? Katy Perry and Taylor Swift, they didn't like each other.
And I don't know. I'm not a 13-year-old girl.
Well,
I don't know.
But I'm going to tell you that I think that Taylor Swift is going to end up on your list.
Yeah.
And that's the point, because those two.
Actually, I don't know that she's going to end up on this list of women, but in the list of other men and their conquests, Taylor Swift ends up on quite a few of the dudes' list that I'm going to name, like John Mayer, people like that.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I think there was crossover constantly between her and Katy Perry, and that's why they had beef with each other.
Let's see here. Okay, so Hayden Panettiere, who really hasn't done much since she broke on the scene. She played the cheerleader, that was her name, Claire, on Heroes, which was a very big show for NBC for a couple of years. She played the cheerleader. She started dating everybody. All right, here's what we got. We got Evan Ross, Milo Ventimiglia, we got Jesse McCartney. Who else? British TV star Steve Jones, businessman Harry Morton. Later that year, Hayden cozies up to Kevin Connolly, the actor who played E from Entourage. And then she was, I thought she was married to him. No, Hayden then dated, I thought she was married to him, Vladimir Klitschko, the boxer. She was with him. And then NFL player Scotty McKnight. And then went back to Vladimir Klitschko. Yeah, there you go. Okay, so she likes athletes. She came in second with tied with Katy Perry at 11. Charlize Theron has 10, but she's got a longer body of work. You know what I mean? She's got like 10 years on Katy Perry and the other one.
And she does that Dior. That's the girl that does the Dior commercial. She walks out of the pool and down the hallway.
I don't know. She is gorgeous, though. She is.
Long body of legs.
Yeah, yeah. And you see Monster, the movie that she won the Best Actress Oscar for, where she played Elaine Warnos, the serial killer, where they uglied her up. Oh my God, completely unrecognized. One of the world's most beautiful women was just completely uglied up to play a truck stop prostitute serial murderer. Charlize Theron has 10 in her body count. Craig Bierko, I don't know who that is. Then she dated musician songwriter Stephen Jenkins. That you can step up from that ledge, my friend. What band was that? The San Francisco band. Third Eye Blind. That's it. Stephen Jenkins. And then she dated George Clooney. Then she went back to Jenkins. Then she dated Stuart Townsend. Then they broke up, and she found she found Keanu Reeves, Jeremy Renner, Ryan Reynolds, Alexander Skarsgård. Yeah, Charlize was knocking them down, boy. From 2013 to 2015, Charlize dated and eventually became engaged to Sean Penn. Did you know that? By the way, don't sleep on Sean Penn. He is on our list of dudes too. Did you know that Sean Penn was with somebody that made me go, what? Like some really young. I was going over the list earlier, so we'll get to this tomorrow, I promise. But there is a girl that Sean Penn dated, a famous girl. And I don't want to like this is not who it is, but it's someone like this where you'd go, what? Sean Penn was dating Ariana Grande? Like it was someone where it was like a 40-year age difference. And you're like,
wow.
Whoa. Yeah, like Miley Cyrus or somebody like that. So we'll get into that. I'll make sure I remember that one because Sean Penn makes the list. So she got Sean Penn, then Eric's. Oh my God. In 2017, Charlize started seeing the actor Eric Stonestreet. Do you know who that is?
I don't.
That's Cam from Modern Family. You know, the heavyset gay guy?
Right.
Who's not gay, who, as it turns out, is getting married to another really cute girl. Woo! Cam's got game. Because this isn't even a blurb. It says they started dating and seeing each other for a stretch. I mean, this was like a relationship she was in with Eric Stonestreet. Oh, man. Being a fat guy, if you get Charlize and then you break up, oh, that hurts. Because you know that was about as good as you could ever have done. And nobody's ever going to. And look, Eric Stonestreet's new bride is beautiful. She's a beautiful young, but she ain't Charlize Theron. She ain't. And you get that after playing a flamboyant homosexual on TV.
That's a little scary.
Wow. Good for him. Good for him. All right. Let's see. Who else can we run in here in the women's list? Amber Heard, of course, she of Johnny Depp fame. You know, she's now the crazy ex-wife of Johnny Depp. Well, it depends on who you believe, but there's been enough stories that I believe that they're both completely batshit nuts. And she's definitely one of them.
A toxic relationship it was.
Let's see here. Director Mark Weistrick, Valentino Lannis, Mexican director Alejandro Gomez, Crispin Glover. Whoa, Crispin Glover is weird and a lot older than her. Pretty serious relationship with Sean Ferris. Don't know who that is. Actor Austin Nichols. Don't know who that is. Producer Arthur Wybrands. Don't know who that is. She was in a long-term relationship with the female photographer Tassa V. Ray. All right, look at that. There she goes. She goes both ways. In 2012, Amber started dating Johnny Depp. They dated for a long time, eventually becoming engaged and got married in 2016. They divorced in January of 2017 after Amber filed a restraining order because Johnny was attacking her. Around the time of the divorce, Amber was spotted with billionaire Elon Musk. They are rumored to still be dating. Now, remember, this was 2 years ago because we now know that Elon Musk is with some weird space alien girl. Have you ever seen? No. Have you seen? No, you don't know who Elon Musk is with. They just had a baby together, and they gave it a symbol for a name. It doesn't have a real first name. It's got like a weird symbol. Elon Musk's girlfriend is like an experimental music artist, and she's not famous or successful in any way until she started dating Elon Musk. And now she's, blue check on Twitter. She's got a record deal, because Elon probably bought the record company. But when you see her, you're like, okay, not traditionally beautiful. That's not a tradition. It's definitely plays into his brand. I describe her. She looks like a space alien. If a space alien came down to Earth and went, I'm gonna pretend to be a modern woman, that's what she looks like.
She's a female version of a Tesla truck.
Yes, that's what she is. She's weird like a Tesla. She's beautiful, just like a Tesla, but weird. There's like a weirdness to the beauty.
Well, like the Tesla truck looks like no other truck.
Yeah. With the unbreakable glass. Jessica Simpson, we'll go into that now. You know what? I'm going to say, here we go. Here's our girl, Tay-Tay, Taylor Swift, coming in right here with a whopping 12. Let's look at
I always thought, like, from the minute I started hearing her, like, she's a star fucker.
Well, that's difficult for her to do now because she's about as big a star as they come.
Well, but I mean, it just was like, that was her game. Like, because she was Taylor Swift, she seemed like she had to have somebody of that,
I have this running joke. I have this running joke with my son that whenever Taylor Swift is mentioned or whenever we see her on TV or something like that, I always go, if I was only 10 years younger. And he gets all angry. You couldn't get her. I'm like, oh, you have no idea the power of radio, my friend. I used to be able to get yes. So it's our running joke whenever we see Taylor Swift. If I was only 10 years younger. All right, we'll get into Tay-Tay. We'll do all of that. Holy crap. Jake Gyllenhaal, Zac Efron, Ryan Reynolds again, Connor Kennedy.
She's just got to be batshit crazy, though.
Harry Styles.
I mean, that's what I mean. Like, she has went through them like underwear.
Tom Hiddleston. Oh, my God. Whoa, and Scarlett Johansson as well. All right, we'll do this all tomorrow. All right, that's going to be it for today. We'll see you tomorrow at noon for the high noon edition of Pugs Moran Live with me and E. We thank you so much for joining us here on the Pillow Talk edition. Come back with us. We'll see you tomorrow at noon. Bye, everybody.